molecule is very sensitive. To raise the temperature, some of these alphabets become wobbly.
But she had many people who believed sincerely in her kind of magical powers. But she also had quite a lot to say about science.
There's a very interesting mental challenge to try to think about where do you locate somebody when they are no place.
The Carnival of E-Creativity, or CeC as it's commonly known, was established in 2006 at the Indian International Centre in New Delhi, India. In 2009, the venue was shifted to the Sattal Estate in Bhimtal, Uttarakhand. With participation from across the globe, CeC has attempted to address the creative empowerment of individuals by the burgeoning spread of technology across multiple streams of human endeavor. Along the way, CeC has built a fledgling international network of experimental artists, performers, scientists, thinkers, academicians, and technologists. With a focus on experimental creativity, CeC has now been bringing the world of cutting-edge practices together in India for the last 8 years.
First of all, it is very interesting that a lot of professions, a lot of occupations come together. This is, I feel, very actual approach to such a festival. On the other hand, there is, it puts a question because there is also a problem in our time. We have to choose our own direction. So I feel this festival, and it is the only way a festival can exist as a laboratory for everyone to give information, to be able to choose which way or new materials, new methods for his or her own work. That's why I feel, I think this is a very productive composition, this festival.
I've been coming for a few years. I've missed out a couple of years, but no, it's great. I think it's wonderful to see people in India who are so curious and energetic and keen for new ideas and to learn about the wider world and other cultures. There's such a strong spirit of that in India, and CeC is an expression of that spirit. So people are really enthusiastically hungry for information and knowledge and to learn about the equipment and the techniques and the tools that are coming from other parts of the world. So it's an incredible gathering, which is so fertile. People from the Americas, people from Europe, people from Asia, lots of people from around India, who are just brought together by a kind of interest in experimentation and in radicalism, really across boundaries and across disciplines. So it's called the Carnival of E-creativity, so electronic creativity or digital media and so on. But really the experience of CeC is that it even transcends that kind of definition. So there are lots of things that use no electronics at all, no new media. There's lots of no media performance and presentation and sharing and interaction. So it's great. Yeah, I think it's a really open space, and I love it for that reason.
I do not know of any other gathering within my reach which brings together artists, technologists, academics, students, just dancers. I mean, all kinds of different art you get to see concentrated in one place, and not only that, you get to see collaborations.
people who are really experimenting with new forms and bringing together sort of new forms of technology and also old forms of music, which has been some of the themes here. People sort of playing with classical Indian music, but also sort of introducing technology to it.
I think it's really nice since I've been part of it since the Delhi versions. I felt a lot of people in the city would not either come because they had work, or in the evenings everyone would run back to where they would stay. So coming here that means sometimes your phone doesn't work and this and that doesn't work, so you're out of communication and you're up in the hills in springtime with a whole bunch of crazy people, showing their processes, sharing their work, and it kind of stimulates you. And being here in this great weather, and everyone's living together, so you're eating together, you're spending more time together. After the presentations, you're hanging, chilling out, and you may be getting to play with other people's equipments and all these gadgets.
Conversations between people is almost cooler than the performances. It brings together so many different people, and the one common thing is that they're all creative in unconventional ways. It's just so peaceful and relaxed. So people can really open up to each other. It's not like festivals I'm used to, very high stress and everything has to look perfect. It's really easygoing. It's people aren't trying to show everything in perfection. They're just really sharing their work. And I think the whole venue is perfect for that.
Look, I think it's an amazing setting. 250 acres of forest with the most magnificent lake and beautiful old buildings. It has its own unique sort of atmosphere. It's really, really special. Absolutely special.
CeC has now played out 8 editions every February since 2006, with guidance and direction from Shankar Barua, the founder and chief curator of CeC and managing director of the Academy of Electronic Arts.
Basically, CeC has to do with experimental and empowered creativity because that is the direction that leads towards innovation. So everybody who comes in with something new, something experimental. On the other hand, there is this cross-disciplinary connection that happens between, say, musicians and scientists, between scientists and designers, between designers and filmmakers, and much emerges out of that. So the thing is that our perception is that there's a vacuum in regard to such cross-disciplinary, opportunities in this country. And so we just look to fill this gap.
Every edition ritually begins with a meeting of all the participants. With formal introductions followed by a meet and greet, the participants then collectively chart out the course of the 3 days of the incident.
Thanks so much for being here. The thing about this whole thing is actually about all of you guys getting together. As I always say, my work pretty much finishes after this meeting. Then the whole thing belongs to you guys, and it's up to you guys to do what you feel with it. What we should do, of course, is introduce ourselves, speak a little bit about our work and what we're doing, what we're hoping to do, where we're going, so that, like I said, you can get the real juice of the whole thing, which is actually all amongst us.
I've been working with electronic sound since the late 1960s.
I'm here for the 6th time. I'm working with my voice, but in a non-verbal way.
And so right now I have a project, and it's called The Medium and the Mayhem, and it's a year-long travel and research grant to document experimental and electronic art practices around the world.
As a friend of us wrote me when I communicated that we're going to be here, he said wow, he's from Italy, and he said they consider it the world's best event for medial encounter, and actually that's my impression. Thank you, Shankar Shatzat, for this occasion.
After the briefing and meeting of the participants, the next 3 days of the incident are packed with presentations and performances alongside continuous screenings in a separate area. The screening section at CeC has been bustling with curated content of short creative video works and art video from the world over. With international co-curators who have generously contributed over the years, exclusive collections from global institutions, and collectives besides fresh independent content, CeC has manifested the evolution in experimental video art and installations.
To investigate territories where ethic and aesthetic find their common ground.
Mother of bomb, who it's a basically TNT based bomb developed by US. And then there's the father of God, a father of bomb developed by the Russians, and then they claim that they are the stronger. So I mean that's endless vicious circle. So I just want to end these vicious circles by making the ultimate, the strongest weapon in the world. It's about launching a satellite as an individual. Okay, basically launching a satellite is quite easy. You have to build a satellite, and then the biggest part is renting a rocket, because rocket is really expensive. And then in order to communicate, you have to get a communication frequency from International Amateur Radio Union. And then after determining your frequency, then you can also finally buy the crystal oscillator for your communication frequency, then finalize the assembly, test the satellite, launch it, communicate and operate. This is easy, right?
He talked about the value of works of art that are ephemeral. So he presented a circuit board that had been ripped out of a computer from the 70s, and everybody was sort of tickling it with alligator clips trying to find sound inside of it. But like this piece of work, it can't be duplicated. The circuit board's eventually going to fry or die or something's going to happen. So it's the idea that it's worth doing even though it's not something that you can really hold on to. You can just document it. This is a sequencer that's in a pencil case because that's all I had. And it just uses like a 555 chip and a 4017 CMOS chip. And yeah, it just sequences, it just creates like varying voltages. And then this is a delay that I made from a kit while I was in Chile. And the chip is actually from old karaoke machines.
What is sound but a continuous stream of values ranging between 1 and -1 at 44.1 thousand times per second, or perhaps 96.5. What is an image but what is an image but matrices? Matrices upon matrices upon matrices upon matrices of data. What is an image? What is an image but information? What it's doing, it's not a sampler, it's not a sequencer. It's generating new music every time I turn it on, and it works according to different parameters. So I say, I tell it, things like a key, the kinds of rhythms to play, etc., etc., and it plays. I want you to play very chaotically. So it's going to start playing very chaotically in terms of the rhythms. Or I can ask it to play very regularly.
Is how nothing is the space for everything. And scientifically, it's expressed in physics as nature abhors a vacuum. It was a kind of an 18th century Maxwell, I think. Nature abhors a vacuum. But a very simple way of talking about pressure. The way that pressure builds up when there's a vacuum, everything floods into it. I lived in a room with nothing in it at all. So I had no clothing, no food, no water, absolutely nothing. Just 4 walls, a ceiling, and a floor.
Dancers use the iPods and choose their own music. They can choose any track they want, and whatever track they're getting, random again or choice, they dance to that with that particular style, that particular energy. Musicians are completely in their own world. Yeah.
the resonances. So this is sort of like a Sarah Palin sitar, like the hymn that.
Go now, chant drill, baby girl.
So sort of the concept of the acoustic structure of the instrument, you can abstract and have different sorts of tunings and resonances, and the same way that you might play the sitar through your terav strings. So you can play them very gesturally, lean into them, things. It's way too much fun to play.
And so it was really fascinating having this vertical garden on rotating panels, so that depending on the situation, we could either expose the plants to the light during the day, but potentially, when we had events in the evenings, we would spin it around and create a really, green, verdant jungle vibe on the inside of the building, which was really, really fun.
I use technique called circuit bending. What mean I use lots of cheap toys, old synthesizers, broken guitar pedals, some other junk stuff, combine them, solder lots of chords inside, put them in a box, in boxes, then I add some controls, and so I can use them, for this kind of sound performances.
Can you tell us something about your machine, some of them which you're using right now?
I have a sampler, which is very lo-fi and simple machine. It has 3 slots for 3 very short samples, which are not stored in the memory after you switch it off. So you always you need to record something from this moment,
Live sampling.
Yeah, live sampling.
During its 3 days, the creativity inspired by CeC has usually extended beyond the venue, leaving an indelible mark on people and places surrounded.
Nein, das ist alles nur Musik und das ist alles nichts. Macht
Das ist alles Nische.
It's nice on top of the carpet.
And this is also an interactive event. It means that when you want to interact with either the musicians or the dancers or the clay maker or whatever, you feel free to do so. So, as nature intended and the gang.
Over the years, CeC has evolved into a community of deeply engaged members, most of whom have come back to share developments in their work or to find new collaborators for global projects.
Devant mes grands attitudes, que j'ai l'air d'emprunter le plus fièrement dans une grandeur jaune en d'austères intimités.
Okay, so what we are going to perform is a collaboration of some different things and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been working for the last 3 or 4 years in Superclava, and I find it, it's the results that I get are, I don't get those results from anywhere else. So we'll try to have a chat about it more, but since we're running late, let's start very soon.
Awesome. I haven't been to like an experimental festival before, so this is like an amazing experience.
Saw a few presentations which have made a major impression on me, so it's about time I start experimenting more.
I think it's a very fantastic and innovative initiative. It should be very much more supported, also recognized by the official side.
Well, I think it's a very original concept because it's not only music or singing or dancing, it's also people talking about themselves.
I think it's unique for this country, and more of this thing needs to happen. In fact, a lot of artists in Delhi, at least the circuit that I come from, which is the music circuit, are not really plugged into it. I think a lot more people need to come here, experience, because it's very inspiring. It has kind of like helped me and Vinny kind of take decisions as to where we want to take our work in the future.